Hello everyone, welcome to Downtown Tailoring. Did you know that I live in one of the coldest capital city and I need to wear 4 to 5 different coats for every temperature? Santa is literally my neighbor. That's why I make for myself some little cute capes and I want to show you in today's video how to make yours. So let's go! If you like this video, please give it a like and subscribe. Today, I'm gonna work for Miss Inch. That way, it will be easier for you to see what I'm doing on camera. And I make those little patterns for her. They are proportional of the big ones. And you see, to pattern this is so easy. They are basically a rectangle that you give a little bit of the shape at the shoulders and at the collar. And you can do this cape with a hood, without the collar. I'm gonna do it with the collar, just to add a little bit of seasoning. And today I'm gonna use this dollar store blanket. If you get 2 of them, you can do it, or otherwise you will need about 3 meters of material. You are going to choose the fabric depending of what you have available. Wool coating, for example, for more wintry look. Flannel, fleece, or knit for a more informal look. You know, you can make all kind of capes and they all will look fantastic. I will start to fold my material. As you can see, I fold it this way because remember, I'm working in half size and my pattern will fit here very well. But if you are working with your regular size, you probably will need to fold your fabric lengthwise by half, as this pattern will occupy the whole width of the material. And I cut 2 pieces for the front pattern, and for the back pattern I cut it with the fabric folded. I wanted to point out as well that I cut the back pattern in the opposite direction, but if you are working with corduroy or velvet, you have to keep that in mind because sometimes you have to keep the same direction when you are working with some fabrics. I am making a belt and for that I'm cutting a 70 inches by 5 inches piece. But for the belt, you can use your own belt or you can use elastic, anything you want. And for the collar, I want to make Miss Inch so fancy. Ooh, look at her. She's already delight. I'm going to use for the collar this remain fabric that I have from a cut that I shortened some time ago, and this is a kind of a faux fur, but it's really soft and nice, and the colors happen to be exactly the same of the cape, so I'm gonna use it for my collar. So I will take this opportunity to show you something very important, and is how to cut fur in an easier way. So if you take a scissor and just cut, you will have all this little hair fur all around. You will need to do a lot of vacuuming, lint roller. No, too much work. What you can do instead is to take your pattern and mark it in the wrong side of the material. I'm using today a heat erase pen. And then you are going to use a very sharp blade and you are going to cut very softly this fabric. You are going to make sure that you are not hitting too hard. You are just cutting the fabric and not the fur. In my case, I have a curve, but if you have a straight line, you can use your metal ruler to guide you as well. And then when you finish, you just need to separate the fur. And you will certainly avoid all that mess. And your pieces as well will look better because the fur won't look like cut. They will look more natural. This is very important, and I have to confess that sometimes I forget. Look at this piece, is looking great. This material is very soft and very nice looking to the eye. Now I'm gonna make my cape. I'm very excited today because I've done this cape more than once. And in general, I have to admit that I have a soft spot for capes, maybe because I had a poncho very beautiful when I was a child. When I remove the patterns, I right away pin the pieces that have to be sewn together in the right way. That way I don't get confused. And basically we're going to start by sewing the shoulder lines. And as soon you have those shoulders sewn, you basically feel like you have your cape done. Something very important that I want to tell you is that I suggested this material because you really don't need to finish it. I'm going to do it today just to give a better idea of different ways you can do your cape. So, for example, for the shoulders, I'm gonna search. For the collar, I'm gonna change a little bit the pattern. I'm gonna make it more rounded in the corners because it's more appropriate for the fur. We have a video where we install a collar. You can take a look at it. But basically today I decided to do the easy way. I saw the two pieces together and you have to make sure that both sides of the collar are exactly the same size because you don't want to lose the symmetry. And then you go and decide how you want to install it in your jacket. In my case, I started putting a stay stitch on the body. And I make sure as well to make a under stitch in the collar. That way the fur gets like in the right place. And because I did that, then the back part of the collar gets a little bit too long because it's kind of pulled down. And then I just cut the excess of that material to make it easier for me to work. But pretty much what I did is just to sew one side like the under part of the collar, and then I flip it and I sew it the other side. You should do a folding, but because my material is fur and it's so thick, I just sew it flat and without folding it. Would have been better, of course, if I finished that with a bias, but I didn't want it to make it too complicated. When you are sewing the collar, remember to leave exactly the same distance from the center front so you are sure that your collar looks nice. Now that my collar is done, we just need to finish this, and for that I'm gonna serge all around. Serging will be my favorite way to finish today, but you can do a lot of kind of finishing. You can serge and fold like I'm gonna do, and this is fast and easy, or you can fold and go and sew all around. This is even easier, but it will be a little bit thicker. You can use the blanket finish and finish by hand and it will look really good, or you can use a simple bias, or you can fold it. As well, you can cut stripes and it will look really nice, or you can just cut it and leave it like that. If you are afraid that your cutting is not so straight, then use your serger to finish better the edges. And that's it. You have all those finishing that you can do. You just work with what you feel is more comfortable. I usually prefer to do the center front simultaneously with the collar. I'm gonna use a bias just for fun. I'm adding as well a little bit of knit interfacing for the same reason. And look how I grade the excess of the material for the collar. Not too many people do that, but sometimes when you have different seam allowance, if you cut them in that different sizes, it will seem like they are not so thick. And then I sew with the top stitch just to secure the edge, as I said before. You can sew your placket all the way down, and after you can do your hem, or you can fold the placket to the opposite side and make a stitch at the hem length and then turn it, and that way it's already folded, and then you sew your placket, and this way it might look a little bit more elegant. Anyways, you will decide what way is easier for you. And now is the final step. I'm gonna open a little bit of a slit in the center, around at 5 inches width from the center front, one of each side of the front and two at the back. And in the pattern, I want to let you know that in the pattern, I have it a little bit lower because I have a pattern more or less fits all. But in fact, the slimmer the person, the higher this piece will be. So because Miss Inch is very slender, we are going to raise this one a little bit. I tried on her and the measurement on her is a little bit higher. If you have another material, then you should make a proper buttonhole. And then I'm gonna mark 8 inches from the floor. I mark 4 because I'm working on half of the scale. And then I'm gonna sew the sides from this point down. So we are almost done with this. And the rest is just to finish all the hem. As I told you before, I decided that I'm gonna search and fold, and this is what I'm doing now. I did the hem first at the bottom part. And now I'm gonna do with the what will be pretty much like at the sleeves opening or the arm opening. It's a cape, so it's not a sleeve, right? And we are going to make our belt. And I have to confess that this is the most tedious part for me. I don't know why I don't like to turn it. And that's why I have so many tricks for turning those things. And my cape is all done. Let's just dress Miss Inch. And here you go. She told me that she is very happy, and now that the winter is coming, she will be all safe. Let me know in the comments if you like to wear capes and if you find that you might be able to do this one. So guys, if you like this video, please give us a like and don't forget to subscribe, share, comment. Bye!